And I think there's a snobbishness with reading books. They are a bit outdated. They're a little bit like playing the spoons and tap dancing and the theatre. They were good once, but things have moved on.
The head's not quite on the right place. That's his little issue that he's got to work on for the moment.
My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Look, I'm all for innovation, and I advocated putting a scrum half in the line out. It sounds great, but it's bollocks idea, really.
Hello and welcome to Under the Sticks, a podcast brought to you by Pro14 Rugby, where even less than usual, we'll be trying to deliver half-baked opinions served up as actual rugby analysis. My name is Andy McGeady. We're going out live a little bit late on Christmas Eve across all the Pro14's social media channels. Super producer Edwin Redmond is right there in the control room. How are you?
Hello, yeah, and I've just realised that now that Dean has departed and is still in isolation in New Zealand, I should probably have cut him out of the intro. But it's been 2020. Let's wait till.
Although, isn't there a character in Elf called Buddy or Bud? So that could be why you've left him in.
I have not had that much time to think, Paul Williams. If I could spend an hour inside your head to see what goes on.
We are.
Paul, Christmas Eve, how are you?
Yeah, really good. Couldn't muster any hats or anything, so I've got on a red hoodie. So this is my festive contribution.
It'll do. You look like a really weird tennis-playing Santa. It's great. Sean Holley, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, great to do this today, boys. I'm fresh from all my peeling. You see, I got my special penny on.
Look at the state on that.
So, I've done all my veg peeling this morning.
By the way, if I see you post that face swap thing again of you on Rocky's body, I mean, come on. Rambo.
Yeah, so my next one's going to be something like Grinch.
We'll try and keep you out of Grinch mode today. So loads of regulars already coming in. We're going to keep this fairly short, fairly light. We honestly, straight up, we were not planning to do a show. It just felt like the right thing to do. So hello to Simon Harris from Aberabin Beach. First time in years not had 4 pints by now it's gone.
That's brilliant, because Christmas Eve is our day with my dad and our dads, my mates and dads. We have lunch down the local, the Brit, and we are about 4 pints in by now. So Simon's obviously gone for a walk on the beach and is crying in his cup of coffee probably.
So we had loads here. Michael Jenkins, hi from Pembrokeshire, West Wales. Ian Gilbert, hi from Madrid, as always. Harley Worthy, Merry Christmas also. Merry Christmas, everyone. Whatever you're doing right now. So what are we going to do? We're really not going to touch on that much today. Bit of news all around, but fixtures you'll have seen. Bit of news with some South African sides changing what the Pro14 is doing, which is very much why Adam is here with Santa hat on to explain what the hell is going on for the rest of the season.
Also, I'm cheaper than paying a guest to come on the show.
It's that time of year, say the accounts.
We're now paying our UK-based guests in euros as well. So that's another way to save a few quid, apparently.
That's actually true.
I
don't want rand, by the way.
No, we don't want the rand. God.
Susan Rowe Harris, hello from Susan and Dermot and Cork. How are you? Let's hit it straight up. Sean O'Farrell, I was surprised about the Rainbow Cup announcement. So for anyone who, it is Christmas mode, people are really busy. They're doing Christmas shopping, traveling, a little bit less so, but Christmas prepping and whatever people do at this time of year in these few special days. This news came out lunchtime yesterday on Wednesday. So what are we doing for the rest of the season? Here we go. This is the thing that came out on social saying Rainbow Cup, 4 new teams, 57 games, 1 final. The new teams are, Adam Redmond, give us it, please.
The new teams are the Vodacom Bulls, the DHL Stormers, the Emirates Lions, and the Cell C Sharks. To be official.
That's all.
Just for the best teams in global rugby.
Okay, so we lost due to COVID reasons and other reasons. We lost the Southern Kings. They're now not an entity anymore, correct?
That is correct. They've ceased trading, as it were, since September.
Okay, so the Cheetahs are not listed there, but the Cheetahs are still playing rugby?
Jesus, they're still playing rugby. So they've been involved in Super Rugby Unlocked, and they've been involved in the Curry Cup. So they are remaining as they are as an entity. And I believe there are talks that they'll be involved in a sort of slimmed down Super Rugby product that's being speculated upon at the moment. So I believe you will still see them playing some form of international club rugby, which personally I think is great because look, they added a huge amount to the competition, and I'll always be a fan of those orange jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's. I think that's well said, because I think a lot of people have really liked their style of play, whether it was winning by one extra try or just a bit of chaos. They really added something to the competition. So let's see where they go. But we do have the four big South African sides joining the competition next year, but it's not the same competition. So Adam, what I want you to do is just let's spell out really clearly what is happening for the end of this Pro 14 season that we are already in, and then what will happen after that.
Right. So as we have it up here, how it plays out. So the Guinness Pro 14 with 12 teams will consist of 16 rounds. So we're now going into rounds 9, 10, and 11 over the festive period. And then we'll take a break for Europe, and then we'll kick off again on February the 20th. So what we'll have there is we'll have the final 5 rounds played through up to March 20th, and that'll include a round of derbies as well. And then simply what happens is at the end of it all, whoever's top of either conference will go into a final on March 27th. That will be hosted by the team who has either the most points or the most wins between the two conference winners. And there's a long list of criteria if they end up even on those first 2 metrics that I spoke about. So that's how that's going to play out. There are some rescheduled fixtures to happen between rounds 11 and round 12, obviously. And the other important thing to notice, I'm sure people will want to ask, European qualification. So as the tables stand from round 16, that's how people will qualify for Europe. Now, at the moment, we're just waiting confirmation from EPCR to see what shape the Heineken Champions Cup will take next season. And once that is known, then we'll be able to announce, right, these are the teams, or these are the positions that will qualify. So, I would hope that is neat and fairly straightforward, if a bit unexpected.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of things this season. I mean, Sean, we're dealing with sort of fixture rearrangements, cancellations all the time now. It is a bit of our norm this year. So to see a season rearranged, it's any other year it might seem a little bit mad, but this year it's like, it's grand.
Yeah, it is like that. And you know what? I don't subscribe to any of the negativity regarding it. You've got to credit the Pro 14 for really trying to promote the game, to think outside the box, to bring teams together. It's been a difficult year as it is. What we've got is a bit of clarity on it. There's been a lot of rumours, but we now have an end of season for the current Pro 14. There's something to play for. Obviously, we know Leinster out on top, and the other conference is fighting it out. But there's European places for next year, which is massively important to all of the clubs and regions and provinces. And then, we're all looking for something in our lives, something to look forward to get out and about. And this Rainbow Cup for me is just fantastic. The thought of having Khaleesi and co come to our venues, to have our guys go and play in warmer climes and different stadia as a development tool. Yes, I understand all the negativity, and I understand why people this, that, and the other. But forget that. From my point of view as a broadcaster, as a rugby fan, and I just think it's great. I can't wait for it, particularly and ahead of a Lions tour.
Yeah.
It's going to be, because those South African teams are going to take that seriously in preparation for the Lions tour. You can imagine the South African national coaches saying, we want to have a good look at those Celtic teams. We want to have a look at those players and Vicky Verkey. So I just think it's new ground. It's groundbreaking. It's another chance to win some things. It's something different. And it's tantamount to summer rugby.
Yeah.
It's been rubbish winter here in Wales. It's been pouring down. I've been soaked every morning walking the dog. The fact that we're going to play from March till June rugby, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Listen to the man in the Santa hat and the Chippendales garb there. Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
If Sean insists on walking the dog shirtless, then you're going to
Got to get wet.
But Paul, what John said is important. So we are building up to a Lions year, and yes, there's COVID, there's uncertainty, but we are looking ahead to a more hopeful 2021. Mutant strains aside, we have vaccinations and things on the way. So this will give South African club rugby sides a chance to play, which they have not had. So Adam, will you just give us, before we get to Paul's take, will you just work us through what will happen with the Rainbow Cup and what fans will see their teams playing?
Yeah, so the Rainbow Cup is going to kick off on the 17th of April. There'll be a round of derbies in there, probably to kick us off as well. So it means everybody gets to stay at home for the first round, and then we'll start seeing teams from Europe going down to play in South Africa. And then what I think is really exciting, what we're hoping to plan for, is that in rounds 5, 6, and 7, all 4 of the South African teams will come up to play their away games in the UK and Ireland and Italy. So actually, right ahead of a Lions tour, people in the UK and Ireland will get a real close-up glimpse of these guys in action. Hopefully there's fans back in the stadiums by then, and at least the media will get to go in. So it's kind of never before seen. I suppose the main thing to explain as well is how is it going to work? So 16 teams. What we'll do is we'll split them into 2 pools of 8, and it's very simple. Everybody just plays everyone in their pool once, and whoever finishes top of the pool straight into a final to face the other pool winner as well. So it doesn't intrude on European qualification and allows us to sort of wrap up the season by whetting the appetite for hopefully what's to come in the future.
So Paul is our resident Super Rugby person. This must make you quite happy.
Yeah, to do a full David Brent, this is it's Super Rugby, it's Pro 14. It couldn't be any better as far as I'm concerned. And I think the big, what Sean's talking about there, having both the shop windows for the Lions tour, that's incredible. That's never happened before when you've been able to watch both play each other pre-tour. That'll be incredible. But I think the big thing for me, obviously there'll be more money brought into the Pro 14 and those teams that play in it. And normally when you bring in more cash, it's usually at the result, at the expense, like having to sell your soul a little bit or diluting something. They're getting more money by making the product stronger. So they're bringing in 4 really strong teams with money. It's not like these teams are coming from like some unknown country like Holland. It's going to make it better. You know what I mean?
Holland. That's
they're not
Russia. He's added the Dutch to it now.
No, in terms of rugby powers, so it's strengthening the league in all sorts of ways. And like you say, if I can go and watch Khaleesi play in Cardiff, I mean, what's not like about that? It's
okay.
We'll have to send an advance memo to Mr. Khaleesi's protectors. Just to...
Yeah, exactly. New man crush. See ya.
Can I ask the question, because there is some resistance to this, and let's summarize some of it, right? So. Look, I think it's going to be great, and there is a lot of me is giving everything a pass in this season and this couple of seasons because everything has been turned a little bit upside down. Okay, but for example, in Wales, lads, there's constant talk about wanting a British and Irish league, but the Premiership, my view on it here, right, and just tell me if I'm off base. Yes, it would be easier for fans to travel, but the Premiership does not want the Welsh teams involved.
This is what those people have to understand. They keep banging on about it. It's not because Welsh teams, WRU, whoever, don't want that. Because they understand the parochial nature. They understand what fans want. But the English Premiership don't want it. They don't need it. They have their own product. They promote it. They stand alone and let them sit with that. That's fine. What's that doing for them in Europe? Well, have a look at the results the last 2 weeks. I don't know. But they're self-contained and they can do what they want. Therefore, we have to crack on with, what we feel is best. And, if that means taking up an opportunity to have the 4 best South African sides for however long it is and whatever format it is, then I don't care what people says. You have to bite the hand off. You've got to say yes to that. That's my opinion. And then there'll be the comments, but you don't have any away traveling fans. Hang on. I coach professional rugby, a lot of it in Wales, right? But for a Boxing Day, Scarlet Ospreys, all other games, you struggle to get a home crowd. They're lone away travelling fans. Yes, in Anglo-Welsh, and I will mention it, Adam. In Anglo-Welsh, we did see those rivalries where you play those Bristols and Gloucesters and Leicesters, where fans really loved that. But you still get that in Europe. So the test for me is when you see a Wales English club in Europe, let's have a look at the crowds. Let's have a look at them. Let's have a look at the travelling and see if there really is appetite.
We've had a look at that before, not in the pod, but we don't get absolutely rammed stadiums for those games, and does to me put a bit of the lie to that will solve everything. But Paul, I can see crowds coming to see your local region with your local Lions Test hopefuls.
Yeah.
Pitted against the equivalent from the South African franchise.
Absolutely. That's big stuff, and the different style of play that you'll see now. You'll see some, other than the Lions, you'll see some monster packs showing up, genuine, you'll see second rows that you've only seen in cartoon books, 6'10", 23 stone monsters with hands like buckets. And, just to go back to that point Sean was saying about the negativity, I get the impression sometimes that no matter what league some of those negative fans were in, they'd be unhappy. So I think even if you're playing in the English Premiership, they'd be saying, "Oh, but is it going to be ring fenced? There are too many teams in it. This lot are cheating. Saracens are spending the money." So they'd find an issue in any league. For me, rugby is about making me happy. It's one of the things that I watch to get away from the negativity of the rest of the world. If you're waiting for a perfect league with perfect players, with no concussion, all earning like a rugby minimum wage, and it's all done ethically with recycling, you're going to die without seeing that, right? That isn't going to happen. You've got to start enjoying watching rugby now because it's happening now.
I like that. It's Christmas. Let's find the good in it.
Yeah.
Sean did bring up something interesting, Adam. So this is about the Rainbow Cup for this coming 2021. So is this a statement for what we'd see after that?
As in, like, future Rainbow Cups? No, I think what you're seeing this season in terms of formats is very much this is a solution to the problem or to the question that's being asked, to fit in all these games and introduce South African teams in this period before the Lions tour. So what you're seeing now, you won't see replicated again.
Grant, it's very generous of us to help out South African friends, isn't it? It's very generous. Do we have any? I think we'll skip on. This is a short show. We could talk a lot more about this. We won't. Kyle Reese.
Oh, Kyle. Here he is.
Hi, Kyle.
That's Kyle's signature. Wales. Good to see you, Kyle. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thanks for all your contributions to Under the Sticks, and the same to everybody. We got quite a few new ones. Harley Worthy has been a real good recruit for us.
Yeah.
Some of his points are excellent, even though he's a Blues fan. But he has, yeah. He came up with a good one earlier on, Ad, about he already thought there was a South African team playing in the English Premiership in Sale anyway. Yeah, it's a good one.
There we go.
There it is. I thought the South African team called the Sharks playing. Very good, very good. Well done,
sounds like we may have a new listener or viewer. Can't imagine where Rian is from, but
Rian's
pretty confident.
We'll give some guesses. Now you guys will get the best of what South Africa has to offer.
That's quite chilling, really, isn't it? That is.
I hope so, because you know what? There's one thing that did occur to me yesterday, immediately after this was announced, and I've been really trying to disconnect at Christmas, but immediately I was going, wow. So people are talking about Leinster, rolling over everyone and all that stuff. This will be an absolute game changer for that conversation as well. I can't wait for it. Kyle Reese, has Paul got the curious case of Benjamin Button or what?
I'm going to take that as a positive. I think that means he says I'm looking younger.
Yeah,
I'm going to take that, Kyle.
You know what it is? He's in natural light. I don't think the artificial light helps him.
I know.
Because normally we record these at like 9 o'clock at night, and pretty dark stuff. All right, so
all right. Let's look ahead to some of the derbies coming up, because this is derby season. We've lost one, so straight out of the bat, we have Munster, Leinster, which has been called off. There was speculation about this. Adam, you're not the spokesperson for the team, but at a league level, called off. Why?
Called off because Leinster basically got some test results back that were inconclusive, and they've had to go back now per protocols and procedures, and basically retest those ones, try and get the original samples retested. There's potentially having to retest the entire squad, so they're in a situation where until they get those results, they can't meet up, and therefore they won't be able to get the clarity they need in time to play this match per public health guidelines and everything like that. So it is unfortunate, but I think everyone is pretty conscious of the fact that with cases and reproductive rates rising all across Europe and the UK and Ireland, that you don't take any risks at this point. So hopefully the good news is there should be no threat to the round 10 game between Leinster and Ulster. It means Munster aren't put at any risk, and they get to play on in round 10 and 11 as well. So, yeah, it's not a nice one to have to swallow, and any of the games have to be postponed. Particularly disappointing that Edinburgh and Glasgow had to be postponed as well, because that's always a belter of a match at Christmas. So, yeah, it is where we are. COVID. Thank you so much, COVID. Just the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, the thing is, Leinster are really going to struggle with their squad to catch up the fixtures, aren't they?
No, let's just put the fourth team in.
Well, do you know what? Actually, I will say one thing. If Ulster do well against Connacht, and then Ulster go into that game against Leinster, and knowing that if you top the conference, you get into the final. Because look, we've all been banging on about Leinster, guys, but I know we got some stick a couple of pods ago about Ulster, and then we went very heavy on Ulster. But the fact is, Ulster are in the table right now. Ulster are 3 points ahead of Leinster. That could possibly be 7 or 8 points if they can get a good result against Connacht, and then they go to Leinster, where maybe picking up a bonus point or getting a draw, perhaps, that could be quite significant. And I think it'd be quite interesting if you ended up with Ulster coming out of Conference A to go into a final, as opposed to Leinster. As much as I would like to say Dragons or Ospreys could make a run for it, there's a good 20-point gap between those teams.
Too much, mate. Yeah, too much. Yeah. That's a good point. Ulster are playing well. They are playing well. And,
and I know we've said in the past, Sean, you were saying the end of last season, what you said that Munster would give Leinster a good run. But I think Ulster would give Leinster a pretty good game the way they're playing it.
I don't see it. I think Leinster have the hoodoo over Ulster. I really do. I might be wrong, mate. And this sort of turn of events might change that, because you're right. It just takes a little tip in confidence or momentum for Ulster. Can you see Ulster going to RDS?
Not to win, but to give it a good crack. That's all you really expect.
There's no one taking it to within a score in the last 15 minutes, and that's what you need. Munster can. Look at Clermont, right? They go to Clermont and they go down, but they take them to the wire right to the last 10. And that's what I'm talking about. You have to throw those seeds of doubt into Leinster in the last 10, 15 minutes. Don't know if Ulster can stay in touch that long. I hope I'm wrong, because it would be great. But now it's all on. Yeah. It's all on now. Everybody knows where they are. That's what the Pro 14 has done now. Everybody knows where they are. It's all on. And it'd be like a race for it now. It will be. Likewise, European places, because Adam's right. You're not going to catch, or if you're an Ospreys or Dragons, you're not going to catch. No. But you want to get up that ladder now.
Yeah.
I think we've seen recently as well. I'm not sure. Andy, nod if your Wi-Fi is working. Andy is not nodding, so he is now. There we go.
Oh, he is.
We just all do the nodding Christmas dog now.
The nodding elf. We should merchandise that for next Christmas. A nodding Andy McGeady doll. That would be quite good.
Again, and for anyone who's going to join the end of show competition, the first prize is an hour inside the mind of Paul Williams.
Wow.
5 minutes is enough in there, let me tell you. Christ.
I've seen the teams named for Ospreys and Scarlets as well, guys. And John Davis is back in, and Johnny McNichol's back in for Scarlets. And that Scarlets team as well. If we, they gave Ulster a right go in Belfast earlier on in the Pro 14. They're third in Conference B, and they're only a couple of points away from Connacht. Yes, Connacht have a couple of games to catch up on. But I think Scarlets are building something whilst their internationals have been away. And some of those performances that they've had in Cassiem in particular, he's become a real bedrock of that team now at number 8, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Calamafoni has been brilliant.
Yeah.
Calamafoni's been brilliant. Kassim, when he's had a bit of a kick at the backside because of Calamafoni. Blade Thompson's had a run of games, which is significant. Although I like to see Blade Thompson play alongside either Calamafoni or Kassim. They've had some young players come through. Josh McLeod has now come back. Yeah, you're right, mate. I thought they were unlucky in Ulster. We all know about the potential yellow card and all that with Treadwell. But if you watch Europe and them go to Bath and win, they played some good stuff without big names. So that I always bang on about that. It's very, very important. I've said this week in other places that for me this is a test of how far Toby Booth has taken the Ospreys. They've had 2 great wins in Europe. They had a good comeback win, Benetton at home. This, for me, now is the test. The game has been switched to Parker Scarlets, which is significant for me. Crowds or no crowds is still significant mentally. So we'll see now how far Toby's taken the Ospreys and how much the last couple of weeks has put the confidence in. Scott Williams back in the midfield. How fit is he? We'll have to see. George North playing much, much better. I think
that's isn't he? George North looks like a totally new player now. They've moved him inside.
And but he's going to start in the right wing here. So I think
back on the wing.
The game that he stuck out for you, Sean, was against Benetton. And I think what we saw there was he was coming in off his wing. He was looking for work and stuff like that. Not sort of waiting for him to be put in the right position. He was getting in position, and that's what you want from a guy like him, who really should be in the prime of his career at this stage of his life.
I got to be honest, it looked like somebody had a word, whether it was Stephen Jones, Wayne Pivac, Toby Booth, whoever it was, and said, look, George, you need to show that you want to play. You need to show that you're this is a Lions year. You're not even in the Welsh team, mate, Come on, let's see. And he did, right? He's going to... The thing I think about George is he's on a massive high or a massive low, and at the moment, he's going up to that high, which is great. Masterstroke to pick him 13 because he had to get involved against Italy, and now he's playing with confidence. Got a great try against Worcester, and that's what you want. George North with a bit between his teeth. He's such a physical specimen, and if he's got his confidence back and he's really up for it, he could be anything. He could become a Lions wing in South Africa. He has that much potential.
So I think that the thing with North, you always notice when he's playing well or isn't, is how hard he carries into contact. Sometimes you can see he's just not into it, and he just sort of walks into contact, almost stays on his feet, then goes to ground. When he starts smashing through contact and he gets those thighs moving, then he really wants it, and it's a big difference.
Can I jump in here, because I'm a little disturbed on Christmas Eve on our Christmas Eve show? You're talking normal rugby. Julian Lyons has had to leave us, right? Got to go. Happy Christmas, everyone. Wife demanding me to go get the turkey. That is the kind of Christmas.
Story after, not analysis.
Correct.
That is late.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that we slightly buried the lead on Scarlets Ospreys that is taking place in Parky Scarlets, which in a normal year would be cause for pandemonium, but in COVID land with no fans, and the reason being they've had to do emergency works on the pitch in Liberty Stadium, so they've ripped up that pitch. There's nowhere to play for them, so that's why it's been switched to Parky Scarlets. And there's one other thing on that Ospreys team: Dan Evans making his 150th Ospreys appearance.
He is class as well, Dan Evans. He's brilliant, man. He should have had he got stuck behind a lot of really good Welsh fullbacks. Love him.
Did I ever say on the pod my Boxing Day story, Scarlet Ospreys, when the game was called off?
Floor is yours, Sean.
Very quickly, right? 2010, it's at the Liberty Stadium. We turn up Boxing Day. There's 20,000 there. It's rammed. It's all hyped up. All the teams are full of internationals. It's freezing. the pipes get frozen to the
Oh,
toilets.
that's right. Yeah.
There's 20,000 in the stadium, right? They call the game off. We're all thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, right, what are they going to do with this? It's off. Everyone has to go. We keep your tickets for the next game. So I go to the local hotel, Morgan's Hotel, because all my mates are there who've been to watch the game for a pint. I think, I'm going to have a pint. It's Boxing night. Get a text through. The game's tomorrow night. It's the 27th. All tickets. So you just come back tomorrow night. Okay, good. Job's a good one. I'm having a pint with my friends. The referee is James Jones, right? He's in Morgan's. He's done the same. He jumped in his car. His mates have gone, we're in the Morgan's, have a beer. He's gone to see his mates for a beer. I'm in there as well. I see him. Oh, hiya, James. Go across. Picture the scene now. The ref for the day and the head coach of Osprey having a beer in Morgan's. In the distance is the analyst for the Scarlets, Gareth Foster, with his wife having a glass of wine. He looks across, sees Holly and the ref, knows the game's tomorrow, having a beer.
Oh, Jesus.
Thinks we're now coercing and cooking up some sort. Turn up the next day, we pumped the Scarlets by 60 points, right?
Yeah.
60 points to 17. We're on
You
fire.
get about 24 penalties in your favour, yeah?
We had a couple of yellow cards. We had a couple of yellow cards. Our scrum was dominant. Yellow card, a couple of props, whatever. Anyway, 60 points, isn't it? I get a letter from the Welsh. They complain that I'm in cahoots with the ref. I get a letter from the union saying, improper conduct or whatever it was.
Jesus.
And I all I can say is, did he give us 60 points? I can't see that. We had a yellow card as well. Ian Evans was yellow carded. But that's my story. 60 points. So biggest ever win, Osprey Scarlets, Liberty Stadium, 2010.
I remember that. You made one of my good friends, Steve Howells, cry.
Sorry.
Right, so we do have 4 games over the next couple of days. There's Zebre, Benetton, Dragons, Cardiff Blues, Osprey Scarlets, Connacht Ulster. Then we move on. New Year's Day, Scarlets, Dragons, Cardiff Blues, Ospreys, and then on the Saturday, Benetton, Zebre, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Ulster, Munster, Leinster, Connacht. And as we've said, there's some good potential there. One thing we haven't mentioned is our referees. So Mike Adamson, we've talked about this before.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Scottish referees, bit thin on the ground at international level for the last few years, but Mike Adamson has been named in the panel for the Six Nations. He's the first Scottish ref in the tournament for 19 years.
Yeah, he does England, Italy, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's and he's a former Sevens international, so he will keep up with play.
That helps.
Beautiful. But I'm not sure how much we want to drain this today. We've hit our half an hour. Lads, what's the plan for Christmas? I'm out west. We got out, and now we've had extra restrictions in Ireland. We'll take our time coming back, and we're keeping it very, very tight. A bit of different Christmas. So one set of parents last week, one set of parents this week, and that's just how it is. But you know what? We've all made it this far, and that makes me really, really happy. Paul Williams.
Yeah, we've done well. I'm staying in Cardiff. This afternoon, I'm baking a cake for the first time ever. Going to lose my cake virginity. So
I'll say what type of cake are you making?
Turkey
I don't
cake.
know yet. Yeah, turkey stuffing cake. It's going to be disgusting.
I was waiting for you to say Rice Krispie cakes.
Well, do you know, now there's not so much rugby on and the tennis is off, I've decided to just learn how to cook stuff for the next couple of weeks. So that's the plan. I'll be
at home. Today would normally be a massive bevy up with my mates, but that's off. And so I prepped all the lunch. I cook the lunch every year, and obviously I got 3 kids and my wife. We'll spend tonight together, and tomorrow for lunch. My parents will come over at some point, and my in-laws at a different point, so we can't break the law, which is quite harsh on us here. But the main thing is about staying safe, looking after the family, looking after my parents and my in-laws, and celebrating as best we can. And then Boxing Day for me is a double header. I'm lucky I'll be working, and I'll be doing a double head Welsh derbies. Joe Power asking for a friend. Did you get your apron from Shane? I think I've seen him wearing one like it.
There is real abs.
Me and Shane do lots together, Joe.
That's basically it's. Remember the beach volleyball scene in Top Gun? That's
Yeah.
basically the Sean Holley, Shane Williams relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
I presume I'm the tall one.
I'm
Yeah.
not on there.
You're the one spiking the ball.
The way it's filmed, remarkably,
I presume he's the one in the World Rugby Hall of Fame, is he?
He's the rugby legend, is he?
He's the one in the world.
Yeah. He's a
World
rugby
Hall of
celebrity.
Fame. Yeah.
So, Adam Redmond, are you spending it in Pro 14 Towers?
No, well, this is mini Pro 14 Towers from home as it has been since March. So yeah, no, just staying nice and tight and local, and just mixing with our in-laws or my in-laws, my wife's actual family. So yeah, it's been a very long year indeed. So I hope what we were able to put out yesterday, and even though it conflicts with having to postpone a game then today, this is the world we're in at the moment, but there's hopefully there's light coming for 2021. So on that note, I will try and look forward to the year to come rather than look back on the year that was.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of us doing that here. So
What about you, Andy?
just keeping it very tight. I don't know when we're going to go home, but we were going to spend our nice Christmas out west here. I'm out in Galway and Connemara. The weather's good. The Wi-Fi is mixed, which is no harm away from everything. I'm going to do a lot of reading. Looking forward to it.
Fair to flag that we may do a pod next week, and that we may let Andy leave his dodgy Wi-Fi to rest, and so we'll update. Keep an eye on the Twitter account, and last contribution for myself. I will not be changing the outro music to the show, regardless of who is in our competition.
In respect of the Cheetos.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's nice.
There'd be mutinies, I think. Riots.
Yeah, and it really cheers me up every time it plays.
All right. Well, it's coming very soon, because that is a wrap for our Christmas Eve show at short notice. Thank you, Sean Holley. Thank you, Paul Williams. Thank you, Adam Redmond, for the idea of doing our Christmas Eve special. Thanks all of you for dialing in, even if it was just for a few minutes. Hope it's a nice distraction for the day. Have a great Christmas. Well done, everybody, for getting here. Keep it tight. Keep it safe. We will talk to you soon.
They call me cheetah, cheetah, cheetah. Ooh, cheetah, cheetah, cheetah.